Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. So as my friends at Yarnspirations.com, no sewing. No, we're not going to do that today. It says to do it, but we're not going to do it. I'm going to show you a cheating technique on how to do this concept without any sewing because nobody's got time for that. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you to make 34 boxes in the height and 6 boxes wide. But because I'm showing you a way that you don't have to sew, I'm recommending that you only do 32 boxes high and 6 boxes wide. The reason for it is that the way that we attach, we have to use extra yarn, and because this is transitional yarn, if you run out at the top of it and you're not able to complete it, it's not like you could just add more yarn from something. So I would only do 32 boxes in the height instead of 34. And if you are going to sew it instead of doing my join concept, then you can do your 34 and you'll be okay. So that's what I recommend. So what we have here is that we are going to be using Bernat blanket perfect phasing, and we have 4 strips, 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you see it? I bet you can. So what you're looking at here is that because the yarn is phasing from dark to light, you can see that the phasing is up on an angle like this on the one strip, and it's up on an angle like this on the other. Do you see it? And so when you're doing the different strips, you're having this phasing. So what I want to show you today is how to attach and to do this all in one step, so you don't have to worry about doing this kind of concept in order to have it in pieces, so you don't have to sew later. So we're going to do one strip, then we're going to do the second, third, and fourth. And so you're just going to use one ball for this strip, one for this, one for this, and one for this. So you can technically do all purple if you wanted to and just change it out for the blue, and therefore your purpling would do this kind of same effect that you'll see happening as well. So this is going to be using an 8mm size L crochet hook with the Bernat blanket perfect phasing, and I'm going to be demonstrating with Peyton's inspired yarn today, where every one of the strips is a different color so that you can clearly see on how I'm going to attach, so you don't got time for sewing. So let's begin to do that first. So let's begin, and we're going to do number 1. So we're going to do this panel. This panel is only 6 blocks wide, so all blocks are just 6, and they are a total of 34 boxes high. So we can see 34 boxes high. Okay, so each one is 6 by 34. So let's begin to do number 1. So let's begin with a slip knot, and using your 8mm size L crochet hook with your Bernat blanket. As I mentioned, I'm using a 6mm size J with my Peyton's inspired. So if you know how to do corner to corner, this is going to be lickety split, and the difference for you is going to be panels 2, 3, and 4 and how we're going to do it. So we need to chain a total of 6. So 1, 2, 3, pinch that one, 4, 5, 6. The one that I've just pinched is going to be the first stitch that you're going to apply a double crochet in. So move your thumb out of the way and get into that chain. And you were going to double crochet into that. And then you have 2 more chains left, and you are going to double crochet in each of those 2. Now before you go too far, after you have this done, let's put it down. And I want you to put in a stitch marker right here on this. So this is the right side of the work. And if we mark it right now, we'll never forget what it is. And let's do that next. So what I want you to do is grab a spare piece of yarn, and without turning the project around, just lift off a piece of the strand and pull the spare piece of yarn through and wrap it around and pull through. So every time you see this, you're looking at the right side of the work. So if you see this, it's the wrong side. So this will help us to be able to identify this later. And let's turn our work completely now, and let's do row number 2. Row number 2, we're going to chain 6. So it's just like how I showed you. So 1, 2, 3, pinch, 4, 5, 6. So right where I pinched is the first stitch, so move your thumb back to get it, and you're going to double crochet in that one. And you double crochet the other 2 that you had building up from there as well. Now, before you go any further, because this is the second row, the beginning has a tendency to turn around. So make sure you turn it and see the back side of the stitch, so the wrong side, and just go into this space right here and slip stitch And I do my edges different compared to other hosts. So I'm going to chain 3. And in this space, I only want you to put 2 double crochets in there. I know other hosts put in 3, but watch what I do. I'm only going to put in 2. And I like to stabilize the edge, because that's the only thing stable in today's video is the edge. Your host is mentally. So I want to go and put the 3rd stitch in to the chain work itself. And that forces that stitch to always hang out on the edge to give you a flat edge. And we're going to turn our work and do row number 3. Now that I've turned my work, I have row number 3. So rows number 3 all the way to the 6 so that you can count the boxes. So right now we have 2 boxes wide, we have 2 boxes high. So that's the easiest way to do it. So to build up, you're going to chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, pinch, 4, 5, 6. And right where I pinched is the first double crochet. So whenever you're building up on a side, you'll always start off with a chain 6. Once that's done, just bring it back and go right into the space right here. Slip stitch, chain 3, and because it's not an edge, just put in 3 double crochet right into that same space. So we have 1, 2, and 3. And then come in, look for the next space. It's right here. It's in between the 2 last posts. Slip stitch, and because this is an edge, I want you to chain 3 to start. Only put 2 into that same hole, or the same space, whatever you want to call it. And the 3rd one, put it right into the chain work itself to stabilize it, to hold it out. And then turn your work. So I want you to repeat the last row I just showed you over and over and over, and it will keep getting wider. And when you get 6 boxes wide, that's where you're going to pick me up, and I will see you there in a moment. So now just finished going across, and I can count 6 boxes in the one direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this direction, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the way that the instructions are writing is that number 7 and 8 are going to be the repeat to create the rectangle shape to do the whole strip going in the opposite direction. So this is going to be the maximum width, and it's going to grow in this direction. So let's begin the 7th row to show you how that's done. To start this next row, and it's going to decrease on this side but continue to increase on here, and you'll see how that's done, is that you're going to slip stitch into the tops of these double crochets. Now the way that I like to do it, I don't go into a space like other hosts. I go right into the chain work to hold that edge out. And therefore, this is where I'm going to start. So now you're going to chain 3. And then you come into that space and put in 3 double crochet. So our starting was slightly different because now we've just officially turned, because this is going to be the width of our strip. So then we go into the space, slip stitch it, and then chain 3 and 3 double crochet in each of these spaces. So do this all the way across, and I'll see you close to the other side, because the other side is going to still continue to grow to make the strip longer. So we're now going to come into the last one here, and we want this side to continue to grow. So we'll put in 2 double crochet to start, and then we'll put 1 more double crochet into the chain work to hold it out. So you can officially see it now that this block is going to grow like in this direction. So let's turn our work and do the next row, and then you're going to continue to do that until the length of it has 34 blocks high. Let's continue. So to make it continuously longer, the next row is chaining of 6. So 1, 2, 3, pinch, 4, 5, 6. And then just do what you need to do. So you put your 3 double crochet in along that chain. Okay, and then you just go across and chain 3 and fill in your spaces. So I'll see you close to this side to show you how to end early on that side. So when I'm coming all the way across, I don't want to grow any more additional boxes, and I'm just going to chain 3 and put 3 double crochet into this final one. and then I'm going to slip stitch then to the chain work right here. And that will hold that on out for a nice stable edge. So when you turn your work, you can clearly see now that it's going to go in this direction and this one's going to be building out. So when you start a new row again, you go across the tops of the double crochet, and then including going right into that chain work itself, and then you start again. So chain 3, so 1, 2, 3, and then start right here. So many people always ask how to do crochet scarves. You can do it the same way. So then you're just gonna go in and then you go back to the other side. And when you get over here, you wanna continue to grow it. So this has to be 34 boxes high before you start doing the decrease where both of them start coming in at the same time. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to demonstrate for you when I come back on the decrease on both sides. So let's assume that we've got 34 boxes high and this is the 34th box and this is still right where it is. And so what I want to do is start to decrease on this side now. So we're going to work our way across the tops and just slip stitch on over and slip stitch into that chain work. And then we chain 3 from this point. So 1, 2, 3, and then 3 double crochet here. So what we're doing is we're officially ending the length by doing this. Okay, and then you're just going to come in here. And so every time you complete a row, you're going to be eliminating 1 box in the diagonal as you do this. And you're noticing it's going to get faster. So that's one of the things with C2C that makes it really quite addictive for people, is that in one direction, as it's getting bigger, it slows down. But then as you start to decrease, like I am, the blanket speeds go right up because you're eliminating out stitch work every time. So I'm just going to work my way across. Just like that. And so this will be the last one. And then you attach it. So I like to go right into the chain work itself to hold it out. And then you turn your work and then you continue to do this again. So you just continue to slip stitch across the tops. So you're no longer having to do that chain 6 anymore because you're in the decreasing on both sides of this now. So then you chain 3 and then you just work your way over. So when you get into the last one of the rows here, you're going to stop here and then you'll have to slip stitch over, and then you're going to get closer and closer to the point that it's going to create the final corner. So please do this and I will see you back here in a moment. So as you're getting closer and closer, it's just getting less boxes to do each time. And then we just do our final box. So just chain 3, it's what you already know. And then you put in your 3 double crochet. And then you slip stitch it. So this would be 1 strip completely done. So you're just going to trim your yarn and be good to go. So because we marked the right side of the work already, we're going to know which way this square is up. So it's up when you see this, and that'll help us to be able to orientate it for when we join the second strip that will go right here. We're now going to move on to number 2 right here. And so the direction here has us going in this direction, and this is showing the wrong side. And so because of that, we're going to position this one here and turn it upside down as we start this one. So when we go to start, it's going to be upside down and we're going to start right here in this corner. So when we start here, we're going to start right in this corner and build it out going in this direction. And this is where we're going to pick it up and do the second strip. So to get the proper orientation, this has to be turned upside down. So we have the right side here, make sure it's upside down. And we are going to put in a slip knot onto the hook. And what I want you to do is come right down on the edge here, right into the point, and just attach it. And make sure there's at least 2 strands there. So we have a nice firm attaching. So we're just going to attach it. And then we're going to chain a total of 3. So 1 and 2 and 3. And do you see the space between the boxes? Go into this space and slip stitch. So just grab that and slip stitch. So pulling it through and through. And what this is doing is it's attaching this next strip to this one right here. And now you're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. And in this chain that you jumped over, this is where you're going to put in 2 double crochet first. And then put the third one right on top of this one right here to hold it out to the edge. And therefore, this is looking good. So now we're going to turn this and begin. And when this is on your lap, you don't have to turn over like completely. You can just turn over the edge. So let's begin the next row. So we're going to grow the boxes out. So we're going to grow the width of the strip out. So there's going to be a total of 6 boxes, and we're going to be climbing up the side of this. So because we need to grow out, we're going to chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, pinch, 4, 5, 6. And right where we pinched, we're going to put in the double crochet that we normally would have done. And just like before, we come up to the next space and we slip stitch, and then we are going to chain 3, and then in this whole space put in 3 double crochet. So we have 1, 2, and 3. And normally what we'd be doing that this would be the edge, but I want you to come into the space between this box and this one and just slip stitch to hold that back, like that. And now before you turn, chain 3 again. So 1, 2, 3, and come into this space and slip stitch, and then you can turn your work around. So then you can turn and start your next row. To start a new row, just chain up 3 from this point and put 3 double crochet into that bridging of the 3 that you put in there. And then come in to the spacing where you normally would have done it, and you're doing your C2C as you normally do. And because we want to grow the boxes out to be wider, so now you see that there's a total of 2 boxes, we're going to go into the space, chain 3, put only 2 into there because it's an edge, and put the third one in to the chain work to hold it out. So just go right into the chain work. And so now you have officially 3 boxes. So you're going to turn your work, and I'll show you one more time. So you're just going to continue and chain 3 to start, and then 4, 5, 6. So I just naturally pinch at that third one, and I'm just going to grow this out. So I'm going to keep doing this with the chaining of 6 until I can see that there's 6 boxes wide. And then I just start C2C'ing up the row. And it's going to be every time I hit up to the other edge, I want to attach it as I go so that you don't have to sew. Do you think you can use this C2C concept elsewhere? Absolutely. Log cabin kind of C2C, which we have on our channel, you can do this. And attaching panels. You can also do squares and attach it. It's kind of cool. So this is the last one before it joins. So you put in your 3. And then just come into the next space. And the trick is to make sure that you chain 3 to begin, and then come up to the next space. So then it's the foundation, and therefore you can turn it upside down. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need you to continue to go back and forth until you get 6 wide, and that's where I'll pick you up next. So I've just come across and now I have 6 boxes wide. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what I want to do is that I'm still going to build up on this side. So I'm still going to chain my 3 and attach over, and I keep doing that in the length. But on this side, I'm going to stop for the box just like we did here. And so that this side will then start going flat out in this direction, just like you see. So when you come across and you're doing that, you're still going to build it up as you normally do. So you just chain 3 to build, and then you continue to work your way down to the other side. So I will just pick you up there in a moment. So I'm coming across the row, and this is going to be my last box because I do not want it to grow any further. So I've got my last box in there. I slip stitch it to the chain work, and then I turn my work, and then I just slip stitch across the tops. And then you chain 3 and then go back. So this strip is just officially turned so that it will not get any wider at this point at this side. So you're just going to use this strip now and continue to travel it up to the length that you have. There's a total of 34 boxes, and it's a really neat concept in order to do that. So what I'll do is I'll continue to build, and when we're ready to decrease, I'll just demonstrate that one more time, and I'll be right back in a moment. So eventually you're going to get all the way to the top on this side. So we don't want it to go any farther than that. So you turn your work, and this will be the last box in the height. And so we're just going to use that to come back down. And we're still going to decrease on the other side. So we're still going to finish off right here in this box. So let's go there, and I'll see you there in a second. So over on this side, we don't want to grow any further. We just want to end so that we're on top of that last box. We're going to slip stitch, turn. And so then you are just going to slip across the tops. Chain 3. And then continue to build. So this time when you go, you're not going to build it out, you're just going to stop right here. And so now you're just going to make it just like you did with the other one to be able to decrease both sides. I'm going to do that off camera, and then I'm going to bring you back for the third strip. So now we have 2 boxes done. So if you want to do the orientation towards what the diagram looks like, this is the right side. We can see what it is. And so if we want to face that down, okay, so we have the first strip, second, and the third strip that we're about to do, we have to start off without attaching at all. So let's go back to the diagram. So let's begin to do the third. Now you'll see that it's growing out from this point outward, and therefore it's growing out this one. So we can't start here like we started number 2, but number 4, when we do number 4, can be started just like we did number 2. But this one here is unique. So what we need to do is start off on the edge, and we need to start building out, and it's going to be the 6th box that we start attaching it on this side of it. And what you have to pay attention to the most is that you have to get 34 boxes high on this side, and once it's 34, then you start doing the decreasing, and then this side will just finish off. So let's begin to do number 3. So what I want you to do with number 3 is just get it started. You already know what to do. So you just chain your 3 and just 1, 2, 3, and then just continue to build it out. So I want you to get 5 boxes wide as you begin. And what I'm going to recommend for you as well is make sure that you mark the right side of this, because we're not attaching it to the project right away. We want to keep an eye on what this is. So just put your stitch marker on the right side like we did before, and therefore you can keep an eye on that just in case you lose your orientation later. So just kind of pop it out. And so just go back and forth and continue to grow it out until you have 5 boxes wide, and we'll pick you up from that point at that moment. So with the orientation, with the right side facing up, this is our first panel, this is our second. I want you to turn it over so that this is upside down. So this is technically the right side of the blue, okay, and this is the wrong side of this color. And when we're looking at this color right here, we are actually looking at the wrong side because we marked it. So this should be wrong side, right side, wrong side. So as we begin to make our 6th box here, we want to begin to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch into the base of this one right here. So we're going to slip stitch in, and then we are going to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. We are going to then slip stitch into this space right here. And pull through. Now that you've got your slip stitch in here, you are going to put your 3 double crochets along this edge. Okay, so it's just like you did before. So if you were pinching 1, 2, 3 pinch, this is your 3 that will be going here. And then you just fold this up and go into the space. So the easiest way to tell is, see, you're going vertically, you can see the posts are this way, and these ones should be lying on its side. So when you go back up, you're just going to do what you normally do with the C2C. And the other side is going to be the length that will climb up on this side. So what you have to do is pay attention to how many boxes you are going in this side, because you don't have this side giving you that accurate measurement. So you have to count your boxes. So you're just going to go up the other side. I'll see you there in a moment. So I'm continuing to build on this side, and this side I want to get taller. So the strip is getting longer. So 1, 2, 3, put in your 2, and then the third one is in the chain work. So you don't got to flip your whole blanket upside down. You just got to tilt this up like this and then start. So we're still going to get longer. So we want to chain our 6. So 1, 2, 3, pinch, 4, 5, 6. And so you keep doing that every time you want to get longer. And the trick is that when you get back to the other side, you want to attach more of this strip to the existing one right here. So you're just going to go and just C2C down that row, and I'll see you right where we're going to connect. So I'm making my way back down. Okay, and then we're going to attach right here. Okay, so we're just going to go into this spacing right here. And then what you need to do is just slip stitch up this side. And so you're just building yourself up. To your here. Okay. And then you are going to slip stitch here. So you're just going to wrap around and slip. And then we need to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. And then we need to slip stitch to here. And then you can officially turn your project around. Okay. And then you were going to use the side of this post right here to be able to put your 3 double crochet in. So you got to make sure that your stitches are going in the right direction. So below, the row should be lying on its side. The row below it should be going straight up and down. This is straight up and down. So therefore you can just continue to go across. So what I'll do is I'll go across, and then I'll come back down again and show you that attaching one more time. I know it's a little cumbersome looking, but it will save you a lot of grief for sewing in the end, and you can get used to it as well. So I'm coming back to where this is joining, and it's going to be more and more obvious because there's going to be more joins. So I'm just going to finish this last box. Okay, and I'm going to join into this space right here. So then we slip stitch across the tops of these stitches. And I would honestly go into that chain as well. And then you were going to slip stitch into this next space right here. And then you're going to chain 3 and then slip stitch into the space between the next box set there. And then you can turn your work around, and the first one will be then 3 right into the space. So every time you get close to here, so what you have to just do is pay attention to the height to get the same height on the other side, and to make sure that they are both equal in height. Okay, so you want to make sure that these are the same. So this is actually 9 boxes, and this is also 9. So when I get to the top of this, I have to start decreasing, but of course you're going to have much longer way to go. But because this is not lining up on this side, you got to make sure that you count your boxes so that when you start the decrease that's happening, you'll end up right here. So please do this until this is attached, and I'll be right back in a moment. So I'm finishing up my last box, and when I chain up my 3, I want to go right into the actual stitch work on this one here to hold it, and then when you turn it, you can just finish your last box on this side. Okay, and then you can just attach it to the chain work of this side, and then this row would be complete. So now you have 3 panels done, and we have the 4th one to do next. So we're now about to do the 4th panel. The 4th panel is the same as the second panel here. So this has to be turned upside down, and we can tell by the stitch marker, and this is the right side up of this one, and this one has to be turned upside down, which it is, and we can see that the stitch marker is here. So when you go to start then the 4th and final panel for this, you were going to start off in the corner here and be able to do it and build it out to your 6 boxes and then go into your height. And therefore you will have all of this complete and just be able to work it out. And it's a really neat concept, and you can avoid the sewing and enjoy this all at the same time.